Yes.
I have to tell you can record.
I need to push record on.
You are able
Audition.
to record. Oh, yes. Yikes. Yeah. Oh my God, I've stuck my foot in my mouth again. Come on, Brian, you know me at this point. You've recorded with me many occasion, as it were, on the Frozen North podcast years ago. Call me Stewie.
Sorry, I don't do voices to
Your
voices.
Just waiting for you to chime in with something. Come on. All right. You sound just like Adrian off of Just a Bit Gaming. That's crazy.
Wow. Thank you for the compliment.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pixel Perspective Podcast. My name is JJ, and I'm here with my good friend, as always, Adrian. What's up, man?
Hi, JJ. How are you?
It's kind of weird, like looking into my camera, but then you're like there on my screen. So it's like I'm trying to look at you, but then look at the camera. It's like,
I've got mine
we're live.
positioned
So hi, folks. Good to see you.
Up next to the camera, so that way it's almost like I'm looking into the camera.
That's fair. That's fair. We got Wunani and Detway in the chat. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We are talking game releases in 2022. That's what's left for the year. Just things we're looking forward to. Things are coming out. And you guys might make fun of me for a few of these, but I don't care because I'm excited and I like video games. So, but before we do all that,
oh, I never would have guessed.
Little bit. Before we do all that, Adrian, what the heck have you been playing, sir?
Oh, the Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which I have done what I do, and I paused on it because I got something else, a new toy to play with. I got a Steam Deck in, finally. Like, I was not expecting to get it in this quickly, but I got it last Sunday. So I've had it just over a week now. And it has consumed every ounce of free time that I have, really. I just have so much fun playing with that thing and seeing what kind of emulators I can run on it, seeing what kind of games I can run on it from my Steam library, trying to figure out like what looks good, what doesn't. Can I stream games from my Xbox Games Pass? Can I stream games from my PlayStation or download them? Or, you have to stream them. Can I play games on my Blizzard account, on my Epic account, on my Ubisoft account, on my all these good old games accounts? Like, I'm just going down the line and just trying different things and experimenting with what I can do with it. So far, it's very impressive. Like, you can do almost anything on that little device, and it looks good. It plays good. So far, my favorite thing has been playing PS2 games on it. I've been waiting for a handheld device to play PS2 games on. And I've tried several different games on it so far, and all of them run really, really well.
Cool.
I've tried some GameCube games. There are a few glitches with certain games. I've noticed with Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, there are some visual glitches in the game. There's like duplicate pictures and stuff like that, but it's okay. Like, it's something I'm trying to figure out if I can work around through settings in the emulator. I've also tried just about every system that I can at this point, minus like modern systems. You can stream, or not stream, you can play Switch games on it. Honestly, I've seen a lot of people play that or do that, and it doesn't look very good to me. And besides that, I have no interest in playing Switch games on it. I have a Switch, and
which
I have
is more
games
comfortable
out
of the two.
So it's weird. I think in terms of how it's built, the Steam Deck is more comfortable. It has bigger, the sides of it are bigger, and it has like grips on the back of it, so you can grip it really easily. and all the
Right.
buttons being up at the top like they are, I thought was going to be something that's not
That was my
easy to
fear.
use.
Yeah.
But it's so intuitive. It's far more intuitive than the Switch, in
Well,
my opinion.
okay.
It works really well for, like, I noticed when I try to play first person shooters on the Switch, it's not ideal. They don't play very easily. It just feels awkward. I don't get that same feeling when I'm playing on the Steam Deck. It feels different. Like having the buttons up there next to each other actually really helps with the form factor and how those play. The only downside to it though is it's heavier than the Switch, and it's much larger than the Switch. So it's not super comfortable in terms of heft, but it's not that big a deal to me. Like usually when I'm laying in bed, I can have the Switch sitting up on top of me. If I can lay down on my back or prop myself up and have my Switch up like this, and it's fine. You know, if I start to fall asleep, it'll start to way down and I can take it and put it away.
Right.
I won't even try that with the Steam Deck, because if I drop that thing and drop it on my face, I don't think that would feel too good. So I'm not too brave with that. But also when I'm just sitting on the couch playing it, I notice that it starts to weigh on you a little bit. So you have to get like a pillow or something to help prop your arms up when you're playing it. That's really the only downside, but I don't know how they could really get past that, you know, because it's a mini PC.
Yeah.
Playing games like The Witcher and Elden Ring and what else did I try on there? Resident Evil 2 remake, games like that look absolutely amazing. I cannot believe how good these games look on the system.
Oh, it's a
it's
tiny
just
little screen. Everything looks amazing. Come on. You can't even really
going
see the
from
detail. Come on.
so
Come
I
on.
have The Witcher 3 and Divinity Original Sin 2 on my Switch, and I used to play those and then transfer my saves over to the Steam version. It was never ideal, but it was just a way that I could play those games on the go, you know, or just in comfort of laying on my bed or sitting on the couch or something. Because I don't want to. The last thing I want to do is sit at the computer when I've been at the computer all day long, you know. So it's not an ideal situation for me. So I took a hit in the graphics department. You know, the it's a little bit blurry, fuzzy in areas, and it's not
For
great.
convenience. Yeah.
But it still worked. Now playing those games on the Steam Deck, it literally is like playing it on the PC version, like graphics wise. It's just you're on a smaller screen, obviously. So it looks amazing. I can't speak enough about it. But I'm having more fun with the Steam Deck just playing with it and seeing what I can do with it than I am playing games on it, which is weird to say, but like I look at it like a little toy. Like, what can I do to this thing? How can I make this thing play whatever I want to play? And then I get it to work and I'm like, okay, what's next? Instead of like, why don't I just sit down and play the thing that I just tried to see if I could play?
Yeah.
I'm just weird like that. I get more fascination or enjoyment out of trying to do what I can with it.
How can I get this thing to play what I want to play? Then proceeds to not play anything.
Exactly. What I'm thinking, it's still the newness factor. I've only had it for a week, so I think after that starts to wear down, I'll start to use it as intended. But for now, I'm just enjoying just playing with it.
You're almost done with Xenoblade 3, though, right?
Actually, I'm about 20 hours in, which is pretty good for me, considering I got a Steam Deck in the month. So I was going pretty heavy. Yeah, I was going pretty heavy on that game for a while. And yeah, Steam Deck took my attention away. But I mean, other than that, I went back to Elden Ring, actually. I started playing that again. When I started playing it on the Steam Deck, I was like, crap, I want to play more Elden Ring. So I booted up my PS5 version and was playing that the other day and trying to get through. What's that castle called right in the center of the map? The big,
don't ask
with
me
the Erd tree.
Don't ask me
like
names.
Lernia Castle, maybe. Anyway, that place is tough, man. It is really hard, but having a good time with that. So that's kind of been my month. What about you?
So 3 games primarily. One, Final Fantasy 14. I still play that. Big patch just came out, and there is an island sanctuary that's on there, and it's basically Animal Crossing within the game. You don't really get anything like progression out of it wise, other than just like there's some pets and mounts, and it's more just a relaxing side activity if you want to do that. I've been having a decent time with it, like while I work. I can just go and gather some materials and feed my animals and grow crops and whatnot. And it's nice. And it keeps me logging in because I again don't want to lose my house in the game. So but it's
Or
it's
in
all
real
right.
life.
Yeah.
While you work while you play. That's the way to
And
do it.
then I finished today, actually about 10 minutes before I got on Zoom with you. I finished up Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. And I freaking hate 3D Zelda controls with a passion. Oh my god. Cardwell6567 says pixel perspective. I am in you. I have a feeling I know who that is. What's up, man? And Brian, I assume you're probably talking to Adrian about his Steam Deck. Was it pixely?
It was not pixely. No, it was not. Not at all. It's crisp and clean and just like you would play it on the PC.
You shouldn't say that to Brian.
I'm not even over
there's
exaggerating.
Nothing's going to amount to
I would like to see
his
Brian
PC and how he
scrutinize
runs that
it.
stuff. Yeah, I am not a fan of 3D Zelda controls at all. I absolutely detest them, and especially the horseback riding. I think it is garbage the way they set that up. I hate Z targeting. It's the worst thing in the world. I never want to do it again because the game was so frustrating. Not only that, but if you ever want me to like walk out on your game and hate it and never want to play it again, throw in some endurance battles. Make them as easy as possible because they're a joke to do, but just make them really, really long with like 5 or 6 phases or more. And that'll really make me not want to play your game at all. And that's what Twilight Princess did on several occasions. And it was really frustrating and annoying. And I thought the game itself overall was wonderful. I really like the dungeon designs. I love the tools that you get and all the equipment and everything. I loved exploring. But man, those controls, I just cannot do 3D Zelda controls. It's just garbage to me. Again, especially the horseback riding. Oh god, it's you run up next to some guy and you're like, okay, well, I can't like necessarily control where my sword goes when I attack. I just have to hope Link is going to swing to the right side. And of course, he always swings to the opposite side for some reason. And I have no idea why he's doing that. And it's just, well, there's so many times I got mad. And their last two, like there's 2 boss gauntlets towards the end of the game. One of them is 6 phases long. The other one is 4 or 5. And it was, I think, 4. Either way, it's still way too long because I got hit twice. It was super easy, but my god, it just took so long. And I'm literally sitting there like, I just want to finish this. I just want to be done. Oh my god, this isn't fun at all. I hate this crap. And then you got, your bullet sponge enemies because you just got to sit there and Z target, hold your shield up, and then move side to side and just swing when it's, you have the opportunity. And it takes forever because it's like 40 hits to kill Ganon, and it's just ranting at this point. It's clear as day, but I just that kind of crap just pisses me off. I'm glad it's done, and I want to go back to top down 2D Zelda because they're better.
Well, you've made me glad that I made me not feel the need to go back and actually give that a third try. So
I also played it on the Wii U with the big control pad, so maybe there's an easier way to control it. I don't know, but I did not
anything
have fun
on that control
on some
pad.
Of those things.
It sucks.
Yeah. Well, there's a few games that are okay. Like that, man, I loved Nintendo Land so much on the Wii U. It was the best. Anyway, you see the samurai hair? Yep, working on. My cousin is actually getting married at the Renaissance Festival in about a month. A little bit less, and I may or may not have bought some clothes for it, and I've got the hair for it now, and I'll have a beard, so I'm actually kind of excited to go and fit right in. The only thing I'm not I don't know what to do about shoes because I don't want to get like uncomfortable, like anyway, that's off topic, different, weird, just something that was running through my head. But yes, my hair is still long and I still tie it back because I don't want it in my face, because that would make controlling on Zelda even harder, and nobody wants that. Other than that, though, I finished up Xenoblade Chronicles 3. 150 15 hours, I think is what it took me to finally do. Granted, I did a lot of extra stuff. I unlocked every single character and did every single character's ascension quest, which is like, so have you gotten any? I've seen 20 hours. You've gotten 1 or 2 extra heroes, right? At least.
I've got 3 or 4.
Okay. But you haven't done any ascension quests for them, I assume.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you can get to rank 10 where you're at. Eventually, you'll do a quest for the character, and they unlock in different ways, which will then allow them to go to rank 20. And rank 20 is the max on every job. You get those for your party members as well. 2 of them are required for the story, Noah and Mio. And everybody else is just a side quest that you can do, but then you increase their rank to 20. Or potentially, you still have to get experience and level up and stuff. So I did that on every single character. I loved all the side stories. I heard somebody compare it to The Witcher 3's storytelling, and like I was kind of like, I mean, it's good, but no, Witcher 3.
Yeah.
No. I just think that's an outrageous claim at all.
It's still got
crazy.
the anime cheese to it. So I mean, I wouldn't directly compare it to The Witcher as far as storytelling goes.
Yeah.
And when I say the anime or the JRPG anime cheese, I'm talking about the friendship is magic. It's all the stereotypical 100%. Friends work together to do the thing, and we're friends. And
that being said, it is a lot darker. It is a lot darker than most JRPGs, I would say.
Yeah,
it's just the overall story where it's like, I mean, there's a lot of death in that game, and it's pretty grim in some cases.
It's part of the story. That's what I love about it. It's a crucial part of the story.
How are you feeling on the combat?
I like it. It's more the same, but it's definitely better than the previous 2 games. It's they've added a lot more to it in terms of like all the things that you can do with it and have to remember what to do. I think it's a bit overwhelming, especially how they keep. I'm 20 hours in and they're still throwing out new tutorials at me on how to do combos, how to do chain attacks, how to do the linking. You'll
get them still for a while.
It's insane. It's like, all right, guys, that's plenty. This is way too much for me already. Quit adding more elements to this. I don't need it. That being said, though, I don't feel like it's overcomplicated to pull any of these moves off. So it's not like you're doing button combinations to do something or having to go into a menu to do something. Your battle bar at the bottom of the screen basically tells you all you need to know as far as like this attack is ready to go. If you want to use it, use it. This your chain attack is ready to go. If you want to use it, go. So it does a really great job at communicating that information to you. The only thing I'm still
100%
a little bit iffy on is the and I forget what it's called. It's the one where you take turns, you do the ultimate attack where you do a bunch of damage. Do you remember what that's called?
I mean, I think it's just called an ultimate attack. I know you're talking about though, where they like turn into their Ouroboros form and.
Well, before that, like even when you're in human form and their pictures show up and you got to choose one and then he'll do an attack and then you choose another one, they'll do their attack. And your goal is to get over 100%.
Correct.
So that way you get another turn, if I'm understanding it correctly. And
that's correct.
And then you keep going up until you either run out of characters or you don't get above 100%. Is that right? Okay.
Yes. So you'll never want to use a healer as your last one, because healers can never go above 100%. They'll always stop at 99. So it's kind of
I didn't know that. Okay.
Right. But you can use that to your advantage. So you can like use it to where like you want to get as big of a bonus as possible. So if you're going to definitely get extra turns later on because you've got some NPCs that have some amazing abilities that you'll get later on, you'll want to, like, let's say you're at 87% with everybody else. You've got one healer and then one tank left. So you go ahead and that healer is sitting at a 40. It's like, well, that's 40 points. I don't want to waste those. Crap. But you do throw them on there because that will add to the overall bonus. You'll still get the numbers. The only thing you won't do is put that counter over 100. And then you're at 99%. So you can add the others on top of that right there. And that way you're starting at 99 to get over 100% rather than starting at the 87. Does that make sense?
Kind of. Yeah. I'm gonna have to experiment with that.
Yeah, just play around with it, because you'll once you like get in there and you start doing it. I mean, towards the end of the game, I was max level. I was at certain points doing like 8-9 million damage, just with these massive, just decimating combos. It was crazy. I was taking stuff on that was, level 110 plus. It was just insane. And I'm really, I thought it was really cool. It's a lot like, the combat is a lot like learning like a card game, like a Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic or something, or
I
Pokemon
can
or
see that.
something like that, where you kind of like, you sit down for the first time and it's super daunting. You're like, oh my God, there's so much to learn. This is crazy. But then somebody teaches you and walks you through the rules step by step. And right after that, you're just like, oh, well, shoot. And then you're just doing it all in your sleep,
Yeah.
and you're just going through it. That's kind of how it is. So
Okay.
just, yeah, every time you get a new tutorial, go through it. If you're ever unsure on something, you're not 100% sure what it means. I had to do a couple of them more than once, because I would get into combat and like I was like, well, this doesn't make sense. Why am I doing that? And so I would go back, go through the tutorial again and be like, oh, no, it makes perfect sense again. So definitely absolutely recommend doing those to anybody playing the game. But it is long. It is quite the adventure. But it is really cool, especially how they tie in the other games. And I don't know if you've seen the meme for it, but there is a Rex from Xenoblade 2 meme going around, because, well, I don't want to spoil the ending, but it's just like,
I have not seen the meme, and hopefully I
damn,
can
bro.
continue to avoid
Okay. So it's yeah. But I loved the game. I thought it was fantastic. And right now it is probably sitting on my game of the year.
Really.
Yeah.
The
And that's pretty easily too.
class system, I feel like, is kind of cool, although it
Pointless.
forces you to experiment with different player types or role types.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't feel like they're super different. It's not like Final Fantasy Tactics, where if you change your class, you're gonna have a whole new move set, and you're gonna be doing your role is completely changed. The only really difference that I'm seeing is, healer. Obviously, I'm gonna take priority on setting down areas where people do extra attack damage, or I can
Yeah.
heal people. I haven't really landed on any one that I feel like I like more than the other. I'm just like getting 1 to 10 to level 10 and then moving
Right.
on to the next.
And that's exactly what I was doing. I just like, I love the Trinity system. I love having tanks, damage, and healer. But from one to the next, and there are differences. Like later on, there's a few healer classes that are like pure buffing. Like they just help other characters pump out damage and
That's
like
cool.
take hits and that kind of thing. And they have like, healing spells that you can attach to them and whatnot, because you can eventually mix and match your abilities and move those around. It's really cool. And there's a lot of customization in there. I didn't really care all that much, because I was kind of I really just wanted to see the story and go through the game, and just playing it at like base level, and not digging too much into the class system. I just didn't need it. It didn't really matter to me. I'm not saying like you shouldn't do that. If you want to and that intrigues you, by all means go for it, because there's plenty there to learn and figure out. I guarantee you, like people who are min-maxers, who like want to get the best out of a party and stuff, can come up with some crazy combos in that with those classes. But for the most part, I just stuck with, if I could do 2, 2, and 2, I would just do that. I would just try to have at least 2 of every class, including the
Yeah.
7th party number that you get. And I would just compensate if I didn't have one of those in or something like that. So, but overall,
I
yes,
do
I love the game.
I love how chaotic the battles are, though. With 7 people on the field at once,
Yeah.
things can get pretty hectic. There's still the annoying people talking constantly. Like, what's the one? There's 2 that I hear all the time, and one of them is the girl with, what does she say?
The
I'm the
girl with
girl
the
with
gall.
the gall. Oh my
Yep.
gosh, that is so stupid. And then the other one is he's it's oh my gosh, what is his name? The dude with the white face with the blue on the sides of it. He always
Yeah,
he's really
it's been
cocky whenever he
weeks
wins a
since I
battle.
finished it, but
And every
yeah.
time he's like, I was the best one out there. I know you all agree, or something like that. It's like something really dumb, and he says it all the time. But I mean, other than that, I feel like, okay, you know how you love diversity in your characters in the game. This game lacks that. I think it lacks it like very, very much. Like I cannot tell the difference between the girl with the cat ears and the girl with the wings. They look identical to me, and I'm always confusing them two whenever they're. I do. I never understand or know like what was your role? Are you the one who plays the flute or are you the other one? No, I don't remember. Like I can never remember. So
Oh boy.
they look too similar. Noah, as far as being like a main lead character, is super bland. I mean,
He's
he's
pretty
just
plain.
dull.
Yeah.
The more interesting characters, I would say,
Brian just
are
called you racist, by the way.
the what is the girl that says I'm the girl with the gall. I actually really like her character.
Senna. Yeah, she
Yeah.
gets robbed. Everybody else has a really cool side story for their Ascension quest, and hers is kind of garbage. And I was
Really?
really upset
That's
because
unfortunate.
she's my favorite character in the game. I really
I
like her
think
backstory, and then it just kind of
I haven't heard anything about
oh,
her backstory or anything yet, but in terms of like how she handles situations so far in the game, I feel like she's
yeah.
one of the more likable, mature acting characters, you know. So
She's
even though she
probably the
doesn't look like it.
least consequential character out of all of them.
Mm,
Like you could tell she's just there to kind of fill, like make sure the party has 6 people. But I like what they did with her still. I just don't like her. They just did her dirty towards the end. It
I
was
also like
frustrating.
I like her voice. I think her voice sounds nice. It's a unique sounding voice.
It's weird that some of them have accents and some of, I'm like, from a realistic point of view, I'm like, you guys don't live that far apart from each other in these colonies, and some of you like have accents and you're born with them, and some of them don't. And
Yeah.
she doesn't have one, but she was with Mio, who's got a really thick accent, and it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
where, how did you get the what? I don't really understand it, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me too much. I just feel like, well, I wish there was some more change in the character races and things like that. Like I felt like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 did a really good job of having a super diverse cast. I feel
They
like
could
everybody was
though,
unique.
because you had blades in that game. That and like that's this is more like people focused, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
You've got your no pawns, but like there's I don't disagree with you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm
Mhm.
just saying I think having that much diversity as far as like different creatures and stuff in your party and everything fits better with a game that has that as a part of the world, whereas this one is literally just people
Yeah.
with no pawns, running around the side.
The
So I
characters in
mean, yeah.
Xenoblade 2 were definitely more cartoony than they are in this game. So, yeah, I see where you're coming from for
That being
sure.
said, when and if you keep playing, and you unlock more of the other characters, there are some pretty like it's a lot more diverse than you're expecting. We'll just
Okay.
say that.
All
Um,
right.
I really really liked it. That honestly wasn't a problem for me at all. But I can see your point for sure. Uh,
No
so yeah,
pawns aren't quite as annoying this time around too, which is a huge plus.
probably because they're
Huge
not front
plus.
and center. uh,
Yeah. Well, I
yeah,
mean, they have
not a
normal
fan.
voices. They still talk weird, but they have
Yeah,
normal sounding voices, and it's not super annoying. Like the main one that's in your group, not the female one, the other one, I can't
Ricky
remember his name. Ricky.
or Riku.
He's
Riku. Sorry, Ricky's from the first game.
Ricky's yeah, he's from the first game. He's actually I like him as a character. He's kind of an asshole,
He's got
but
the dumbest
he's
hair.
smart.
Ugh,
Yeah. He
that's
he
so
uh he
dumb.
could he's like an engineer. He can build whatever or a blacksmith. He's an engineer or a
Yeah,
blacksmith, one of the two. But I like him. I just wish they didn't talk so dumb like, but um I'm
agreed.
glad that they made a change because that was my one of my biggest complaints about two with I just hated the no pawns.
No, they're the worst. They're like this game's version of Rabbids.
Yes,
Not as bad as
exactly.
I don't think anything's as bad as Rabbids, not even close. But if I were to compare it to something, might be like that. Yeah, I'm not a fan of neither. They just in a game that tries to take itself so seriously, but is a JRPG, and that's hard to do so at face value already. Um,
Right.
Throwing in no pawns does not help your case at all.
No.
So it's yeah. But it's it didn't hurt it for me. I loved it. I thought it was a wonderful experience. I just you really have to like get that mindset of I'm going to sit, I'm going to play this, and it's going to take me a while. You have to know that going in, because there's a lot to learn, there's a lot to do, a lot to see, and frankly, I think a lot of the side stuff is worth it, especially if you're into story stuff. So, for sure.
Cool.
What
else?
That's pretty much it, though. That's it. Just
There's one more that the both of us played just this past weekend.
That's right. We did the Splatfest for Splatoon 3, the rock paper scissors Splatfest. And first of all, let me say this. Okay, let me preface this by saying we went Team Rock, and I'm super stoked that Team Rock won, because we got on there and we were killing it. We were doing great.
It's because of us.
Yeah, 100%. That's why we won. However, I'm trying to figure out where your mind is, because this is the second time you've done this to me, and I don't understand it.
Okay.
It happened in Splatoon 2 as well, where you're like, my kids are so good at this game. It's great. They're amazing. Gosh, they're already playing. It's awesome.
Katie,
I'm like, oh, cool.
Let me be specific. Katie is really good at this game. Okay. Go ahead.
Katie. You say she's amazing. She's so good. All this stuff. I'm like, oh, cool. So we've got a really good ally. You never did the same thing last time, did the same thing this time. You never picked the same team as her. So we're always on opposites. We're always against. Like, why? Why wouldn't you just pick the same team?
I have my reason this time around. It was because she picked Team Scissors, Katie did. And she got like 5 other people to pick Team Scissors as well. It's like, well, if you've got all these people, how can we play together? We can't. You can only have 4 people in a team. So my other daughter, Libby, chose Rock with her friends. So I was like, okay, there's openings there for us to be able to play together. And so I chose Rock as well. Now, what ended up happening is Katie she only had people play with her for a short period of time. Whereas I think Libby had people playing with her the whole time. So Katie was over there. She played the entire day Saturday. And I'm not even joking.
Wow.
From the whole time that thing was up, she played it. And I think she was playing by herself most of the time. So when the game does officially release, I will be joining her team for sure. She's good. She's really good. She will be ranked number 1 every game. And that's no doubt. No denying that there. But I mean, honestly, dude, we did really good. Yeah. You were number 1. Like, I would say the vast majority of the matches we played. I mean, I don't know what the hell you were doing, but you were doing it right.
So in Splatoon 2, I used the roller the entire time, and I loved it. It was like, you remember Mark from the Frozen North, my old podcast. Yeah. I came into it with like a Mark mentality. Brian, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Mark loves playing games with other people if he can be as lazy as possible. And that's what the roller is, where you literally can just run around, hold the button down, and you just run over people, you just paint and all that stuff. And that was the mindset I had going in Splatoon 2. I did okay. It was fine. I barely ever used my secondary attack. I barely ever swung the thing to paint stuff. And I literally just was like, hold the button down, run forward. And that's all I did, Mark style. This time, though, I did that for like a few, and I kept getting destroyed. And I was like, this sucks. So I was like, I'm gonna play around with a couple other things. And I tried one of the new weapons. I tried the bow, and I am not a fan at all. That was rough. That was really rough. I think if you're good at it, it can probably be really, really good.
Is it like a sniping weapon?
Yeah, but it doesn't shoot very far. So it's not like... And if anybody gets in close to you, you're done. There's nothing. You're absolutely screwed. And I played one match with it, and I was like, nope, this is garbage. Can't do it. Well, it's garbage for me, anyways. And then I tried the paintbrush, which I had never tried before. And my God, the paintbrush, there is no delay in your attack speed. So I can literally sit there and like as fast as I can, and my guy will just back and forth like crazy. And so I run up, and I would just hide in the paint, and then I'd pop up next to somebody as they walked by and just like do that, and they'd kill them every single time almost. And it was a blast. I did that, and it was easy to paint because you can also do the mark style as well with the paintbrush, because it's a little bit smaller, but you can hold it down and run with it while it paints the ground as well. You can do that too. but I didn't do it because shaking it actually
Paints
helps
the
a lot
ground.
more.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, this is absolutely perfect for me. And the special I was using was the like the lasers that come out.
Oh
Do you see
yeah.
those where the
Yeah.
4 lasers come out and shoot? I wasn't sure like what those did at first or how to use them, but as soon as I figured it out by doing the little not tutorial area, but the area where you
The,
start and
mhm,
everything, where you
the
can turn
lobby.
on the little robot and use them as target practice. So I did that, and I figured out that you can lock onto people with it, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And yeah, like I mean, you're not wrong. I was decimating in quite a few matches, and I loved every minute of it. I was having so much fun with it.
Huh. I
So
need
I
to
can't
try
wait.
that.
I cannot wait for that game to come out. Yeah, it was an
So
absolute blast playing it.
I was not too thrilled about playing the beta, to be honest with you. I was not excited about it. I'm not a big Splatoon fan, but I absolutely had a blast playing that with everybody.
You have to play it with people that you know. You really
Yeah,
do.
well, that and you got to
Yeah.
figure out how to use the weapon that you're using. Because whenever I
Yeah.
use the little pea shooter thing, I hate that weapon so much. It doesn't do anything. It seems like anytime I get into a battle, I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
It doesn't paint the floors very well either. So I was like trying to figure out how to change. And I've used the roller in the past. I like the roller. I always have liked the roller. But I felt like I really connected with it this time around. I was getting a lot of kills, and it may have been just because there was a lot of people who maybe didn't play a lot of Splatoon 2 who are on this beta just trying it out, and I'm just playing a
Sure.
bunch of easy people. But I really did have fun with that. So now I wasn't planning on buying myself a copy. I was just going to get one for my girls, but I think I'll be buying a copy for myself.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
fun.
it's so much fun. I don't know that I'm I mean, I have no doubt that I will fall off the wagon, not play super often and whatnot. It's not going to be
Right.
something that I'm like devoting tons of time to. But if they keep doing Splatfests, like, once every other month or, whatever it is like that, I will absolutely play those when I can. Because those are
Yeah.
those are the fun ones. You pick a team and you just I unfortunately I didn't well, with you I didn't. I did like 2 or 3 of the three-way battles, which you can only join with one other person. You can't do it as a team of 4.
Mhm.
Um, and those were like which is kind of goofy because it's like it's 2 versus 2 versus 4. From what I could tell, they were using it for the teams that were doing worse. So like
Yeah.
if Scissors was, not doing as well as Rock and Paper, they would do a match where Scissors has 4 people in it and the other 2 teams have 2 each.
Mhm.
Which I thought was kind of like that kind of defeats the whole, whatever. But it's chaotic, for sure. Um,
Yeah.
I kind of wish it was, 16 people though. That'd be nice, or 12 people. Sorry,
I
I
didn't
can do
get to
math.
try that, but Katie played it and she told me that it favors the losing team because there's a
Yeah,
something in the middle of the map that will like turn the tides of the battle and usually results in the losing team winning.
I didn't even catch that. I died so quick when I was doing that. I didn't even have a chance to see it because
Mm.
they're everywhere. But I really I loved this Splatfest in Splatoon 2, but they stopped doing them
Mhm.
after a while, which is unfortunate. So hopefully
I
they
didn't
keep doing it.
I don't feel like this game is that much different from Splatoon 2
It's not.
ultimately though.
No, no, no. God, no. It's more the same. I
Yeah.
think the hub world looks cooler. I really enjoyed just it really comes down to just who you're playing with. If you've got people to
Yeah.
play with, it's going to be a lot more fun. Playing alone in that game is fine, but I really liked. I wish Nintendo had voice chat. I really do. It's
Yeah.
so frustrating that it
That
doesn't.
game needs it.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
Well,
And
I
I had fun
like
either way.
it's almost like a class-based battle system where your weapon determines your class because you can choose a weapon that is solely aimed at painting the map, which is a big part of winning a battle.
Right.
Or you can get one that is solely focused on getting kills.
Yep.
So they don't really have a support class, but there's like basically, I guess, 2 different classes. But yeah, it's all about who picks what class and how can they work together to accomplish the same goal. It's
Yeah.
fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure. So when anybody in the chat who if you get Splatoon 3 on Switch, hit me up because I will always, well, not always, but I will play with people occasionally if there's a Splatfest when I feel like it. Sometimes it's possible I could.
I will
There's
always
days,
occasionally.
Don't count on it. But I had fun this weekend. So
That's right.
With that, I'd say that's a good lead into games we're looking forward to that are coming out
Yeah.
this year.
Absolutely.
This is just games that are coming out through the end of 2022. How did you just pick a list? Did you put any like release dates or anything on there?
I did not do release dates. I just picked games.
Okay, so I've got a whole list of games with release dates for each one on here. How do you want to do it? You want to just go back and forth?
Sure.
And then
Yeah.
you can just like highlight on your list if we hit one of mine or something like that, and vice versa.
Yeah, that'll work. I've
All right.
got like maybe 10 games.
I have 15.
Okay.
So, all right. This first one, I will go first because I know this first one you don't have because you've already told me you don't care about it, but I'm kind of excited for it. On September 6th, we will get the chance to play Disney Dreamlight Valley. I don't care what anybody says. It's free for one, which is always nice. Yeah. And at least I believe so. And I just like, so the idea of Disney Infinity when it first came out, I thought was really, really cool. I grew up with Disney movies. They're nostalgic, they're fun, and I love those characters. And I don't care. I'll admit it, 100%. So my favorite parts of the Kingdom Hearts games are literally going to the other world. I care less about the overall story on Kingdom Hearts, but going to those worlds and going through like the movies and stuff like that, that's what I really, really enjoyed. So I'm hoping this is going to be a step up from Disney Infinity that isn't like this tiny little enclosed area where you can't really do anything. And hopefully there's some bigger things to do. And I really don't know what to expect, but I'm just excited to check it out. And if it wasn't free, I'd probably skip it. But the fact that it is, I'm like, I'm gonna give it a shot. So that would be the first game that I have on my list. And I these aren't like in order of like how bad I want to play them or anything. This is literally just I have them in release date, so that's why it was first up there. Go ahead, what you got?
Well, Splatoon 3 was my first one on the list because that's the one that's coming out soonest.
That was my
it didn't
next
used
one.
to be on my list, but after the beta, it is on my list.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Overwatch 2. And Overwatch 2 comes out, I think, beginning of October, I want to say. I love
10-4.
Overwatch.
Yep.
I played the crap out of Overwatch when it came out, and I loved it.
Me too.
I did play the beta for Overwatch 2, and it really, honestly, did not feel like a step up from Overwatch 1. In fact, it just felt like more of the same. So it didn't make sense to me to make a sequel. Why couldn't they just add on to the original Overwatch? It just, I don't know. Did you check out that beta at all or
I
see
have
it?
not. Nope.
Dude, I could not tell the difference. I could not tell the difference at all between 2 and 1. But
What'd you play it
that
on?
being
Just out of
said, this
curiosity.
is what's that?
What'd you play it on?
PS5.
System?
Yeah,
Okay.
PS5. I'm still looking forward to it. This is going to be a free to play, so that's exciting for me as well. I'll definitely play it if it's free to play.
Yeah.
It's probably going to keep the loot box system. I think if they handled it similar to how Fortnite handles it, as far as like the pay to play, where you're purely buying cosmetic items. That's cool. I'm fine with that. Like I don't really care about the cosmetic items. I just want to play the game. So I think a free to play model would work really well for Overwatch 2.
Yeah, I mean, say what you want about Blizzard as a company. Their higher ups are horse butt hair. I know those are the first words that came to my mind. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me questions. Just go with it.
Horse butt hair is pretty gross. I think that's a good one.
But they're developers and they have a lot of passionate people that do work there. And I always feel bad when people like say like Blizzard is blah, blah, it's like, well, there's some good people that work there and put their heart and soul into some of these games. I really enjoyed the hell out of Overwatch. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking out this one. Man, I played the crap out of that with Brian and our friend Brandon. And Brian just quoted me. Blizzard's uppers are horsepower. And Detway also says pass on Disney Dreamlight Valley. Shocking. I told you I was gonna be the only one, and they're gonna make fun of me. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, we used to play the crap out of Overwatch when it first came out, and quite frankly, anytime Blizzard releases a new game, we tend to get together and like tell them the Diva story. Brian, thank you for pointing that out.
Now you have to tell it.
So you really had to be there. I like Reinhardt. He was my main when I played. Him and Hanzo, I really liked. And I think Brian was the one actually told me that people who used to like play Counter-Strike like crazy or CS:GO really like Hanzo because of the accuracy and lining up shots and stuff, which I was like, oh, well, it makes perfect sense because that's what I like doing. So I don't know how familiar you are with the characters. I certainly wasn't when this happened. Diva was God, I'm trying to think of how to set this up. We're in a hallway. I'm Reinhardt, and I'm sitting there with my shield up, and our buddy Brandon is sitting right behind me. We are playing over either headsets or like we were landing at somebody's house. I don't remember. But so Diva is at the other end of the hallway, and she starts firing at me. And I'm sitting there holding the shield, and I'm just waiting for it and stuff like that. And eventually my shield just breaks, goes to hell, and she shoots me and kills me. And Brandon goes, "What were you doing?" And I was like, "I was waiting for her to reload so I could charge her." And he just looks at me and goes, She doesn't reload." And I was like, "Ah, oh, man." And we still bring it up to this day because it's pretty damn funny. The diva moment. That was my dumb move, and I still look at that and I'm like, dang it, I was an idiot. And I never played Diva before. I don't know anything about her. I didn't know she didn't reload. I was trying to play it smart. I was trying to use my brain, which is a good thing. But not in that
I like that story though, because it explains like the uniqueness of Overwatch. You kind of have to experiment with all the characters and understand how they work, because even if you don't like playing as them, you understand how they work, and it will help you in be your advantage when you play against them.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, Overwatch 2 looking interesting. Even if it is more of the same like Overwatch 1, that just makes it to where I don't need to, spend tons of hours on it, because it'll feel familiar to me and I can jump right in. And even if I just play for a little bit, if it is F2P, then I'm stoked for that. So all right, next on my list, coming out September 22nd, and that is the Diofield Chronicle. I have been hearing a lot of I've been hearing a lot of positive feedback on the demo. People are saying it's really fantastic. I have not tried it because I'm not crazy about demos typically. I just don't do it because I hate
I didn't
stopping.
know there was a demo. I'll try the demo just to see if
there's a free demo you can try. Yep, a lot of people are saying I don't know if it was Happy Console Gamer or what, but I saw a couple YouTubers actually say that they weren't really looking forward to it, didn't really have any interest. They were just like, oh, another tactical RPG. And then they tried the demo and they were like, this is not what I expected. And they really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to it for sure. And it's a new IP. So definitely curious to see what happens. Seems fun. Seems interesting.
It's the visual style that turns me off on that game.
Really?
I'm not a fan of it. It looks like every other Final Fantasy game out there, and it's not my team.
That's not a problem at all. I don't know where you're going with that.
Modern Final Fantasy. How about that?
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Although Final Fantasy 16, I think aesthetically looks really good. I love the medieval setting again, so I'm excited.
Well, I think it reminds me more of like the online one, the one that you play.
14?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not a fan of the aesthetics in that game?
No, not at all.
Wow. Oh man, yeah. I love the way that game looks. Whew. Okay. What else you got?
So my next one would be Callisto Protocol. This is and I talked about this one before on the previous episode, but this is like the Dead Space game that it's a lot of the people who worked on the Dead Space games worked on this one as well, and it shows so vividly. Like I thought when I first saw the trailer that it was a Dead Space sequel, but it's a new IP and it looks amazing. It looks creepy as hell, and I love the sci-fi spaceship monsters type of thing. It's just super creepy, and it's if I can get that same vibe that I got from playing Dead Space, that creepy feeling like where you're walking through and you can cut off limbs of monsters that you don't know where they
Yeah.
are, and oh man, like I'm excited to play that one. The more I see of it, the more excited I get for it.
So I'm not excited for it, but not because I like don't think it looks interesting or anything like that. It's I haven't played Dead Space all the way through. I've only played a little bit of it, but I really liked it. And so I
Yeah.
think if and when I play, well, it's a matter of when, because I definitely plan on going back to it. Going through Dead Space and finally getting that will probably pique my interest a little more on that. For sure. Because I know a lot of people are really looking forward to that. It looks cool. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have it on my list though. Next one I do have on my list though, coming out September 29th. That is Valkyrie Elysium. That is another JRPG, like one of the Valkyrie profile-ish type games. I don't have a lot of experience with those, but I have heard nothing but amazing things about them, and I think the art in this looks really, really cool. So I don't know if it's going to be a day one buy for me. I'm a little worried because it looks like the kind of game that will get rare. So I kind of like I'm worried about that fear of missing out.
Yeah.
But both Dewey and Wunani say that Callisto Protocol, which I don't even know which one it is because you both type different things. Callisto Protocol looks good. You both like it. So thanks for your input, guys. Valkyrie Elysium, though, I am definitely going to hear more about. I'll be interested to see what the reviews say when it finally does come out, especially from people who play the other games in the series and what they think. So
I forgot about that one. That's one I'm excited to play as well. I've never played. Well, I've played the other two games, but not to completion. Obviously,
they're
those
so hard to find. They're really like I don't have any of them, so it's like I have
I
no
have the
chance of playing for the most
PS2
part.
one. I don't have the PS1. That one is very expensive.
Yeah.
And they also have one on PSP, which is a remake, I believe, of the PS1 game. So I think that one is like the ultimate edition if you want to play those games.
Okay. Cool. You know what? Since I got 15, I'll go ahead and do one more right
Sure.
now. And that is Dragon Ball: The Breakers.
That's on my list too.
I'm so excited for it. Oh my
I
gosh.
play that.
Brian, are you stoked for this game or what, man? Because oh man, it sounds so much fun. So basically, if you don't know what Dragon Ball: The Breakers is, if any of you have played like those games where like one person is the bad guy, like Friday the 13th, and they're hunting down all the other players, that kind of thing. It's like this, but Dragon Ball characters, apparently.
Mhm.
One person is Frieza, and from what I understand, everybody else is not. And
Like
you just have to
civilians.
like I'm so stoked to just anytime a new Dragon Ball game comes out, it's great. And then I get to make TikToks about the time Brandon effed up Canon, the jerk. I sent you that, right?
I don't think so. Wait. Explain it real quick.
The video that I made about where it's like the girl is sitting in a chair and she's like, "What would you say to me if we were on a date?" or something like that. And I just told a story about how Brandon messed up DBZ Canon when we played Battle of Z.
I don't remember that. I don't
I'm
remember
pretty
that.
sure I sent it to you. I'm pretty sure I
Okay.
did. And it's fine that you don't watch what I sent you. It's fine. I know Brian watched it because he laughed because he's a better person than you are, and that's okay. So it's fine. But yes, I'm so excited for the Breakers. I definitely want to I really haven't like seen too much about it other than like just a basic, summary of the premise and what you do, but I haven't like seen enough because I really want more. I want to try it for one. But yeah, he blocked me. Cameron says it was amazing, by the way. So I know for a fact now that I did send it to you then because he's in that chat with you. So
Okay.
wow,
Send it
Adrian,
again, or
that's fine. No, I'm not sending it again. No, you scroll for that shit. No,
I probably watched it, but I don't remember. Dude, it's been a while.
That's-
It's been a while.
It has been less than a week. It has been a few
No.
days.
Okay, then I didn't see
Yes.
it. I didn't see it.
Oh my God. Oh,
Dude, you know how I am with online chats. I'm spotty on when I get on there or not.
it's on
So,
your phone. It's on your favorite gaming
but
system. So I don't
if I'm
understand.
busy and I don't check it, then I might forget about it, and then it just
Brian
gets
is yelling
missed.
at you in all caps right now. I just want you to know that. He's saying you would remember it was gold. And
I'll go back through and watch it.
Yep. Cameron says less than a week ago. Bam. Yes.
I don't remember this. Damn it.
Speaking of Dragon Ball, by the way, new Dragon Ball
Yes.
superhero movie is amazing. Go check it out if you're a Dragon Ball fan. It's really, really good.
So
Love
I want to go off on just a short little tangent with that.
Sure.
I took my son to go watch that, and we had an absolute blast with that movie. Now, he doesn't know much about the Dragon Ball universe. He's watched some episodes with me, but he doesn't know the characters, and I'm constantly have to explain who is who and what and this and that. And he was still able to follow the movie, so you don't need to be a huge Dragon Ball fan to watch this. But the art style I was not super thrilled about because it's different. It's CG. It's CG 2D animation, if that makes sense. So it's like I don't know. It wasn't something I was looking forward to, but when I went and watched it, I was so impressed with how they handled it with the camera angles and stuff, and how they would pan the camera around behind different characters and stuff while they're doing their moves, or even just mundane tasks like the sound and the characters when they're talking and he's like ashing his cigar or something, and they zoom in on it in a certain way, and it works so well, and I loved it. That movie was such a fun movie to watch, and if you can watch it in the theater, please watch it in the theater. I think the theater really made it even more fun.
Yeah, I've contemplated going again because I just liked it that much.
On Saturday is $3 movie day for most cinemas, so you got to go check it out then.
I may do that. Cameron says, in regards to your not watching my video, is this like his Chrono Trigger opinion again? Because your Chrono Trigger opinion was horrible.
My Chrono Trigger opinion is very valid.
And you heard it here first. Adrian hates Akira Toriyama. So
no, that is so far from the truth. I love Akira Toriyama. I'm not even gonna let you lie about that.
That's where I draw the line, sir. But yeah, it's legitimately an excellent movie. And did you guys stay after the credits?
No, we didn't. We left as soon as the movie was over.
Oh man. Yeah, if you're a Vegeta fan, there's a little treat at the end. It's pretty funny.
Okay, let me say something else. I always thought Piccolo was overrated. I know everybody loves Piccolo, and he was just never a character that I connected with. After this movie, I love Piccolo now. This movie converted me to Piccolo.
He's him and Gohan are probably the two main in it. He would probably be the main character though. I think
in this movie he was the main character. Yeah, and it was so good watching his character arc. And I don't want to spoil anything, but there's some really cool stuff that happens with Piccolo in this movie, and it just blew me away. There was one scene in particular where Owen actually got teared up, and I'm sure you know what scene I'm talking about. Yeah.
Teared up.
Well, I didn't either, but and he got teared up. It was a fun movie.
But I really, really liked it. It was really good. I was just giddy the entire time.
By the way, I did go back into the chat and I see the video now, and I did watch it. I didn't, by your description, I didn't remember that specific of it. Yes, that was a funny video. I did watch it.
I appreciate you saying that so matter of fact. Yes, your video was funny. It was comical.
Your video was funny.
And I chuckled to myself several times during the course.
I don't know how you rambled like that for as long as you did. Dude,
it was one take as well. It was the first time I did. No, it took me probably 11 tries to do that because I kept screwing up. First 2 tries, I did really good. I had 2 takes that were better than that one. And you're getting me started. TikTok does not have your mic turned on as a default. You have to manually turn it on. So I had 2 takes where, because I had to exit the program and get back into it, and I forgot to turn the mic back on again, but of course it didn't turn on. There were 2 takes that were so good, and freaking mic wasn't off, mic wasn't on, so I couldn't do anything, and I just had to freaking do it again. But yeah, I just it's just practice. I did theater all through high school. You need to
post that on Twitter so everyone can see.
Oh my God, I did 100%.
I didn't see it.
My God, you just really, yeah, I'm starting to wonder if Detway is right and that you blocked me, because you are clearly not watching any of my stuff at all. It's maddening. Cameron, I would agree with you that it would be a hard time not laughing while doing that, but at the same time, when you're doing it for like the 11th time and you just want to get it right, I was more mad than anything else at that point. So that's why I wasn't but I was happy with it. I dealt with it. I was happy with the way it turned out. And yeah, it was if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, it's a you can get a kick out of it. It's good stuff. It is on my
Wonderful
Twitter,
movie.
by the way, so go check it out. I was talking about my TikTok, not the movie, but the movie's good too. Thanks, Adrian, for ruining something else. All right. Yes. And Brian
Scorn
was there because I
Scorn is my next game.
What is
Scorn.
Scorn? Oh, I don't even know what that is.
I'll describe it. You were talking though. I'll let you finish.
I was just gonna say because Brian just posted in chat. Plus, he was still mad at Brandon for not following the DBZ canon. We still, bring that up every now and then. We had so much fun playing that game when it came out. It's not an amazing game, but it was fun just to be able to like do these battles. Battle of Z for Xbox 360 for anybody curious, and Brandon just would not even. This character doesn't look cool if I'm not using him. It's like, Brandon, you can't be just choosing freaking Requiem when you're fighting against Raditz. That like didn't happen. Like never happened in the show. Why are you what is happening right now? Like it's just unbelievable how ridiculous his bastardization. But yeah, Scorn, go for it.
Scorn is it's another horror game that is very like creepy and it's like body horror. Like I don't know how to describe it. There's monsters and your character is some deformed looking monster. It's a first person perspective game.
Like
I think
Silent
it's a
Hill a
shooter.
little bit.
No, it's like it reminds me of Doom in a way. Where you've got these creepy looking characters. HR Geiger. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
HR Geiger.
So
okay.
yeah.
I know you mean now. Yep.
It's
Oh, interesting.
it's very unique. I haven't seen a game quite like this one. And it's like Alien. It is like Alien. That is a good way to describe it. Honestly, to be quite honest with you, I did not know anything about this game until like yesterday. I saw a trailer for it and I was like, whoa, this looks cool. And so I'm excited for it. I don't know if it's going to be any good or not. Like, I don't know anything about the backstory of the developer or anything like that, but it's just in terms of how it looks, it looks creepy as hell. And I like it.
Brian, all these caps, I feel like you're yelling at me. And quite frankly, I don't appreciate it right now. You don't yellow base me, bro. Come on now.
Well, I'm glad to have it there to help me with describing this game because I didn't know all of those things. And yes, those things are true.
You know what, Brian? You're a big one on my list. Love you, buddy. All right. Next up, a game that I have not played the first one of, but I definitely want to. And this game just looks so damn amazing, and it just makes me want to play the first one that much more. And that is A Plague Tale: Requiem.
Yes, that's on my list too. Yep.
That comes out October 18th.
You're excited for that, and you haven't played the first one?
I haven't, but man, I keep hearing like how amazing it is, and B, just everything that I've seen on both games just looks so fascinating. I love this setting. So I definitely am like, from what I understand, the first one's pretty short, so I would venture to guess the second one is as well. So it's kind of one of those things where I'll play them back to back, most likely. So we'll see, because I'm really excited. I don't care if it's on Game Pass. I don't have Game Pass. You know this. Come on now.
Well, that game is also it's been free, and it's super cheap.
Like, I have it already.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had it for a while.
It can't be longer than 10 hours. Like, I want to say it's around 8 hours. It's a very short game, but it's a fun short game. It's that when I played that game, it was one of the game of the year nominees for me, and I don't remember what year that came out, but I remember it really stuck out to me. I still remember a lot of scenes in that game. It's an emotional think The Last of Us. Not quite up to the production quality of the Last of
Sure.
Us, but still really damn good. It tells a great story. There's stealth elements in it. You have rats to contend with, but you also have to contend with getting away from guards and stuff. So it's got a lot of high tension areas in it that work. They're not overly frustrating. You do have to die and restart areas to figure out like the best course of action, but
Okay.
everything is laid out on the table for you. You know how you do the stealth stuff. So just figuring out a way to sneak around said guards or use
Cool.
light. The rats are scared of light. Use light to clear paths and stuff. It's a great game. It really is. I'm super excited for Requiem. I just want to have more of that and to see the continuing story of these siblings
Yeah.
and where they go from here is going to be exciting.
How many you have left?
Probably like 5.
Okay, I have 8. Are you marking any of them off as we talk about
No, but I know what we've talked about and haven't talked about.
them? Well, I've got 8, so I'll do the next one. I think you've already told
Do
me you are
2.
not interested in this one. Do what now?
Do 2.
Do 2? Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll do this one first because Cameron just mentioned it. Harvestella. I think it looks really, really fun. Looks like a
Explain this one. I haven't heard it.
Harvestella. Yeah, you have because we talked about it a little bit, and when we did our E3 month long spiel thing. It's the new game from Square Enix where you are like, it's almost like Harvest Moon, but with like heavy RPG elements, running around, fighting dungeons, you're leveling up, increasing your character, all that stuff. Looks a lot more grown up, and less like it's definitely still anime, but it's not like cutesy, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
I'm really, really curious to see more about it. And that comes out on November 4th. So I'm definitely looking forward to that at some point.
Is that a
Whenever I've
Switch
got it.
game?
I believe it is coming to all 3. I believe
Cool.
so. Well, 4, including PC. And then Mario and Rabbids Sparks of
Oh,
Hope.
come on. Oh, come on.
Oh man.
Don't
I hate
even.
Rabbids with a passion. I absolutely hate Rabbids. But damn it, if that gameplay isn't fun in the first game. I really, really, really enjoyed the hell out of the strategy aspect of it. And just I love Mario World aesthetics in general. And so putting those two together, the only thing that I hated was the rabbits. And I really, really detest them. They ruin that stuff. It's just
it ruined the
awful.
game for me. Like I couldn't get into it because of the rabbits.
Man, it's rough, but the gameplay, the core gameplay is solid and it's really great and it looks beautiful. This one I'm hoping is a little bit better because yes, I thought the rabbits themselves were stupid, but they could have alleviated that a little bit had they just made each of the rabbits their own unique character. Instead, all they did was just make them, they had their own different abilities and stuff like that, but they made them copies of Mario and Luigi and Princess and that kind of thing. And it's like, just like, don't do that. I just really did not like the way that they were executed as characters, and I never wanted to use them in battle ever,
Right.
at all. This one does, yeah, exactly. It's just like XCOM, gameplay wise. But this one does seem to have at least one rabbit that has its own identity, which they're still super annoying, don't get me wrong, but I am a lot more on board with that if they're like their own character and not like just trying to be funny copies of Mario and you know, Luigi and stuff. So I am absolutely looking forward to getting into that. I can't wait to check it out. I think there is a demo. I have not tried it, but it doesn't matter. That'll be a day one buy for me for sure.
Cool. My next one is going to be, let's talk about God of War Ragnarok. Is that still coming out this year?
I believe so. Yeah, I don't have it on my list because I still haven't even played the first one.
Oh
and
my gosh, dude!
I've never been like crazy God of War fan as it is. I definitely want to play it, but the fact that I have not, and even like, it's to me, I just look at that and I just see another I'm a big tough guy and I kill everything. Yeah, that's
You
all I
need to
see.
play it.
So
It's
I
not
know
that
I
way.
absolutely do, and I plan on it 100%. I have it. I just because that's my perception of it right now.
Yeah.
I just makes it where I'm not like looking forward to this one. So
It's a game that well the first one kind of sets up for the sequel. And ever since I saw like what the setup was, I was like, yeah, let's do it. I'm excited. Let's go. Like I don't know. I've been waiting for the sequel for years. So I'm really excited to jump back in. I will tell you though, JJ, the gameplay in God of War is so fun. Like forget what you care about the character Kratos and his stoic attitude and his badassery that he has. The gameplay is so fun in that game. Like I cannot describe to you how good it feels to fight enemies in that game. It feels so good. I love it. You feel powerful. Like whatever weapon you get feels unique, feels powerful, and it's just a fun game. So
yeah.
I cannot wait for that one. The day one buy for me.
Cameron says in regards to rabbits, they're like minions worth it one time. I can kind of see that, to be honest with you, because
Yeah,
minions kind of
yeah.
bug me too.
Minions are
Um,
overdone.
Brian says number one for him as well. That's Ragnarok. Um, and then he says, please either of you find and buy me a PS5 and send me. Yeah, Brian, Cameron's brother found one in a store, like just walked in and found one.
Yeah, I did
It
too.
was a Horizon one.
Yep.
Well, it came with
They're
Horizon.
they're easier to find now. You just have to go
Um,
look.
and then Lamont says that he got the collector edition for God of War, which I'm sure comes with a bonker statue or something. It seems
Probably
like they
this
would
the
go
statue
ballistic
that
with
came
that.
with if I'm thinking of it right, it's the statue of Kratos and boy, I can't remember his name. They're fighting this monster, this blue monster or something. It's a really cool looking statue. Actually, I think one of the guys had it when we did the Platinum Bro podcast. I want
Mm.
to say one of them had it. They showed it off.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
He might. Yeah, I don't really necessarily remember, but you could be right. Um, all right. Next one for me. Star Ocean: The Divine Force.
yeah, I saw that one. I wasn't too keen on that one. What do you like? I haven't been able to get into the previous several Star Ocean games. So
Yeah, so I am a big fan of the Star Ocean series. I just really really enjoy it, and the sad thing is like the series has let me down more often than it has like made me excited about it, which
yeah,
is a weird thing to say. But I just every time I think about it, the concept is just so cool, and it's like there's so many wasted opportunities. If there's an old episode of the Frozen North where Brian and I are talking about Star Ocean 3 till the end of time. And that's another thing we continually bring up because the story twist in that was just so horrendous. But so there's a part in that game where you're on this like medieval style world where people are with they live in castles and they have swords and they're using like magic and the armor and just melee combat and all this stuff, and there's this huge battle going on between these two armies just going at it. And then, and yeah, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. And then all of a sudden, a giant spaceship flies in, like from up above in the middle of all this stuff. And something like that is like such an amazing setup. Like, oh my God, what the hell's going to happen next? What are they going to do? What are they going to do up there? What are these guys going to do down here? What are they thinking? Like, what? Oh my gosh, they could take this so many directions. And if I remember correctly, it literally just the scene just ends like with the main character like getting knocked out, and that's it. And it was just such a wasted opportunity. And that's kind of like how I felt about the whole entire series. There are some amazing moments. Star Ocean 2, the second story, is a phenomenal game. And I think anybody should play it if they want a good introduction into that series. It's hands down my favorite in the series, and it's a wonderful, wonderful game. But there's just so many like ups and downs in those, and it's really tough. This one is already starting off that way because the idea of the new Star Ocean gets me excited, but then I see the look of the main character and I'm like, oh
yeah,
no, oh boy,
yeah.
that's That's not good there. Ooh. So yeah, it's
Their
so
faces
it's
are so
again,
weird.
yeah, it's again just double-edged sword. Integrity and faithlessness was the last one. I actually enjoyed that game. That was another one that had 7 party members running around in combat.
Yeah.
And it was even more hectic than Xenoblade. It's just yeah, I don't know. The fact that it's a new Star Ocean gets me excited, but I don't expect to see tons of people like clamoring for this game and wanting it, ripping it off the shelves. So we'll see.
So I'm really surprised that Star Ocean is continuing to thrive. Like, I don't know if it's thriving or not, but like make new games.
It's
I
not.
don't
I was surprised when this got announced. The last new Star Ocean they talked about was a mobile game, and there was nothing. This kind of came out of nowhere.
well the one that came out on PS4 kind of came and went, and it was on,
Right.
dollar bin like not long after it came out.
Yep.
It
It's
just
really
didn't do
short
very
too.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that they decided to make a new one after that. When you got all these dormant JRPGs that could really benefit from a sequel, and they still keep churning out these mediocre Star Ocean
Yeah.
games.
Yep. Exactly. Not day one for Star Ocean. Yeah, Brian remembers the twist. Yep. Yeah. Mm, mm.
So
What else you
I've
got?
got 3 more.
Okay. I've
I'll
got
start
5
with
more.
Bayonetta 3 because Bayonetta 3 is coming out the soonest, I think, out of these 3.
Zero
Um,
interest whatsoever.
yeah, this is because you don't like fun games, but
Mhm.
Bayonetta is such a fun series. I love the over the top action, the over the top characters. The gameplay is fun. I love games like Devil May Cry, and this is just Devil May Cry to me. Like, it's that same type of action based gameplay. I loved the previous 2 games, and I'm excited to get this one. I also pre-ordered the collector's edition on that one to get the art book. I'm excited for that. And they're actually releasing a physical edition of Bayonetta 1. Previously, that was digital only. So I'm excited about that because I can complete the trilogy in physical form on my Switch. So Bayonetta 3. There's not a lot I
None
can
of
say
it.
about it. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know much about the game other than it's more Bayonetta, and that's really all that matters to me.
I know it's massive. A lot of people love it. I've never had any interest whatsoever. It's like it's I, it's weird. I'm like just a weird JRPG fan. I love JRPGs like crazy, and they're over the top, and I love the idea of like friendship solving everything and like all this stuff. But then I see something like Bayonetta where it's just over the top goofy, and it doesn't
Do
do
you
it for
like
me.
action games like that? Like heavy juggle
Yes
enemies
and
up in the
no.
air and beat them up?
Yeah, they get old quick for me, very, very
Mm.
fast. Because eventually you're doing the same thing over and over again. It's like Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts combat gets really old to me really fast, and it feels like a chore after a while because I'm
But
I'm
you can
literally just
change it up. You Bayonetta has like different forms that she can do that has different move sets. So it's
uh,
not always the same.
yeah, the aesthetics don't appeal to me either. Don't I just don't have any interest. I'm not knocking anybody who wants to try. It's not for me. That's all.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Um, I got I know a lot of people aren't excited for this, which is a kind of a trend on my list, as you can tell. Um, Detway says Star Ocean is not day one. For me, it is. But he says Bayonetta is great, very stylized. Yeah, and it's the style I don't find appealing. So, um, but Sonic Frontiers. I know it's been catching a lot of flack just for looking very like empty. Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, that's my
just
complaint.
sheer curiosity is what I've got. I don't think I'm so this to me seems like it's if it is bad, it's going to be heavily discounted very fast. And so that's why I'm not going to buy this day one, but I do plan on checking it out at some point. Sonic is a
Waiting for
massive
reviews.
character. He's huge, especially after the movies that have come out and everything. So I think it'll sell well. I think there'll be plenty of copies to go around and everything. But I, based on initial reactions, there's a good chance it's probably going to get discounted pretty quick. So I'll just wait on that. So yeah,
That game looks like you said, it looks empty, it looks dull.
Yeah.
I don't it's part of the appeal of a Sonic game to me are the um fantasy style worlds that you run around in. And I'm sorry, but I don't think a real world environment is fitting for a Sonic game. And that's what it looks like. You're just running around in a normal real world looking area with robots in it. And it just
That's not the first Sonic game to do that, though, is it?
it's not. But the
Oh, okay.
the other ones that do that have not been appealing to me either.
Mm.
The infamous horrible Xbox 360 Sonic the Hedgehog game is one of those that does that. Um, I honestly, and in open world games in general are not my cup of tea. Anytime you take a beloved character and throw them into an open world, I'm
Yeah.
generally not going to be thrilled about that. I don't want to run around aimlessly. I need goals. Sonic is all about give me a level, let me complete that level and move on to the next level.
Sure.
That's how I want to play Sonic.
Yeah, understandable for sure.
Yeah.
It's just a sheer curiosity as to how that's going to work. That's kind of where I'm
honestly,
at.
I think it's gonna bomb, and I hope I'm wrong, but I really think it's gonna bomb. It just doesn't look like it's any good.
You could be right. How many you got left?
2.
I'll do one more then. Okay. Tactics Ogre Reborn.
Oh, 3. That should be on my list. Yes.
Okay. Well, there you go. Tactics Ogre Reborn. I am stoked for it. I've never played a Tactics Ogre game. I've always wanted to. The only one I have is Ogre Battle 64, and I never played it. But I definitely want to get to the series because I've heard nothing but great things. So I'm super stoked to try that out when it does come out. And that is on November 11th.
I have Ogre Battle on 64 and Ogre Battle on the PlayStation and Tactics Ogre on the PlayStation, but I've never played any of them. Well, I played the 64 one, and I like it quite a bit. But Tactics Ogre, I've only played the first level, enough of it to see like, oh, this is identical almost in style to Final Fantasy Tactics, because I know it's the same development studio, or not studio, but people who worked on Tactics work on Tactics Ogre. Sure. And that is very exciting to me. I'm wanting to finally jump into this game, and I think the Switch is the perfect platform for that.
Yeah, for sure. And the box art looks really cool.
Oh yeah. I love the art in Tactics Ogre games in general. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's go with Advance Wars 1 and 2. Still waiting on that game to come out.
I actually have that one. That's the one I have, but the date is TBA because they still aren't 100% sure it's coming out this year. But man, I want to play it so bad. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I know why they delayed it to begin with, but I think the delay has been long enough. It's time to just drop that game. Let's do it.
It's frustrating because I really, really want to check that out. It looks so much fun. I never got to play it when it originally came out, and I want to try it out. Lamont says can't wait for Tactics Ogre getting art book. That's
I would love to get an art book. Is there a collector's edition of that comes with an art book?
I don't know. I don't think there is. As far as I'm aware,
I'm definitely picking that up. I need that art book. I didn't even know there was an art book. So, yeah, I want to get that. Did you see when the Advance Wars game was originally supposed to come out? It accidentally got released to a lady and I want to say in Australia, and so she got the game when nobody else did.
I did hear that. Yeah. That's right.
And she was sharing some video of it on Twitter.
Yeah,
and it looked great, man. Like it looked like a completed game too. And like, why are you holding this back? Let's release it. I had a lot of fun playing that game back on the Game Boy Advance days.
Looks so
I would love to revisit it.
No separate art. No, it's a separate art book. So it is
cool.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. I'll buy an art book.
So
yeah,
you'll buy an art book after I buy it for you, probably. Christmas last year, sir.
Oh yeah.
You jerk.
I still have it right down there.
That you do. All right, I've got 2 left.
So I know which one is on your list that is my last one, so we can talk about it last.
What's that? Oh, well, I don't know which one. How can we talk about that last then? Yes, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I am
Yeah,
stoked. I love
I
Pokemon, man. I
I
just
love
do.
Pokemon too. I feel like I'm kind of Pokemoned out at the moment because I feel like they've released so many Pokemon games in succession,
Sure.
rapid fire last year, that, and I played through all of them, and I'm like, I kind of would like to have another 2-year gap between my next
Right.
Pokemon game. But that being said, I'm still excited to jump in and discover new Pokemon and see how they handle this world in general. I would love to see the Arceus gameplay in a new generation of Pokemon games. So yeah, I'm
Well,
excited to play this.
this doesn't have the Arceus gameplay.
It doesn't. It looked like it
Mm-mm.
did based upon the trailers. I have not seen any gameplay of it at all. So I
No,
don't know.
this is traditional because it's a mainline
Okay.
entry. Arceus was a spinoff.
I for some reason when I saw that original launch trailer, it looked to me with the Pokemon running around that it was going to be an Arceus style game. But whatever.
Lamont knows me too well. Uh Last game for me, yes, indeed. It is not Travelers though. That's not what it's called. Dragon Quest Treasures.
Treasures.
Um,
I didn't put
Pokemon,
that
by the
one on
way,
my
comes out
list.
on November 18th. Dragon Quest Treasures comes out on December 9th. Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I love Dragon Quest. I love the
Yeah.
freaking games. I'm super excited for it. And I didn't realize this until today when I was looking through like the calendar and everything, that it was a Switch exclusive. I didn't know that.
I don't so the only reason it's not on my list is because I don't know enough about it to really get excited for it.
Just a Dragon Quest game, but you can recruit monsters and put them in your party. That's all.
So it's like Dragon Quest Monsters then.
I think so, yes, but I don't think in Monsters was more like a party of Pokemon that you could use at
Right.
the same time. But I think this one you have your three monsters. It's more like Final Fantasy 13 too, where you've got your monsters, but your character is also in battle participating.
Okay.
Man, Skull and Bones ain't coming out. It's been forever, and like we're still waiting. Come on, like really, it's gonna get delayed again and a million times over.
Just go play
And man, I was excited at one point, but I quite frankly, I am happy with the other pirate
Sea
game
of
that I can't
Thieves.
think of. Sea of Thieves. That's right. I love that game. I have nobody to play it with, but I love that game so much.
I hate
Yeah,
that game.
it's great. It's great. That is my list.
That's it. It's
Cool.
going to be exciting. I feel like this is a less exciting year than previous years.
Yeah.
In terms of new releases, there's not a lot that I'm excited for. Everything that I just named off, I'm like, yeah, let's play. With the exception of God of War and Bayonetta 3, those are the ones I'm just super pumped to play. The rest of them, I'm like, I'll play it. I'm not gonna drop everything and play it. Um, yeah, it just seems like a slightly underwhelming holiday season for game
Cameron says
releases.
Metroid Prime 4.
I wish, or a trilogy. I want to see a
Trilogy
trilogy
would be
release.
nice. Yeah.
I played the first game on the GameCube and couldn't get past it because I was too focused on Halo 2 at the time. And I regret not completing that game because I hear so much good about it and I would love to go back and play it. I just haven't. So
Yeah.
if they were to re-release a trilogy on the Switch, I would definitely play through that.
You have them on Wii?
I have the first one, I don't have the second one.
Mm.
On GameCube. I don't have the Wii trilogy. And the third game came out on the Wii only, right? Or was it a GameCube game?
I don't know.
I
I'm
think
not
it
sure.
was a Wii game. I think it
I
was.
got
But
the trilogy when GameStop had that restock, and they were
oh,
selling
okay.
it dirt cheap. I was able to pick that up. Yeah, it was
I
nice.
saw it a couple of months ago. They had a really nice copy at Vintage Stock, but they wanted $130 for it. I just passed. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So a couple of things before we close it out. Yeah, Cameron says we only. One, I wanted to give a massive, huge, just unbelievably crazy big shout out and thank you to Lewis, aka Platinum Bro.
Yes.
We had the absolute pleasure of going and guesting on his podcast, Platinum Podcast, and it was so much fun. By the time this episode is up, it should be up on his channel. So go check out Platinum Bro on YouTube. We had so much fun. We literally his idea was to try and tie collecting to trophy hunting. And when I first heard that that's what the topic was going to be and stuff, I'm sitting here, I'm like, how the hell, what? Like, I'm sure we can kind of BS our way through, but we actually like, it was some good conversation. Like, we legitimately went on for quite a while, and it was just, there were 5 of us in there, and it was just so fun. Those guys are so nice and so gracious. And I said this on their show, and I said it when Lewis was here on our show as well. But like, trophy hunting in general is like such an easy hobby to become like elitist and like kind of like gatekeeping and treat other people like crap if they're not as good as you and everything like that. They're all just so like gracious and so welcoming, and it's just so nice to see, because you really don't see that a lot with people who they look at it as clout. And these guys are just in it for the pure love of doing this stuff, and they love talking about that stuff. They're big Dragon Ball fans as well, which was cool. And we
anime
even
fans
after,
in general.
I was gonna say, even after the camera stopped rolling, or stopped recording, we sat there and we talked for a while. We were still on there for a good 30 minutes or so, just hanging out. And it was just, it was the first time that we had talked to the other 2 guys that were there.
Yes,
but
I was gonna say that.
It felt like we were all old friends just hanging out. And it was just, I could not have had a better time. It was wonderful. And any one of them, if you guys happen to be watching this at all, you're all more than welcome to come on our show at any point, talk about anything you want. We'd love to have you. It was an absolute pleasure for sure.
I was gonna echo everything you just said, but I do want to say that having met Lewis is a great guy. He is super nice, accommodating, fun to talk to, funny, very funny guy.
Yeah.
But his partners on the podcast, was it Joel and Steve? Both of them are awesome guys, also very funny and accommodating, super nice. I had a blast really on that show, and highly recommend that you guys go check that video out when it drops, which should be, like you said, should be out when this episode drops. But
if not, it'll be
I do
very
also
soon.
want to point out the thumbnail is absolutely hysterical. Like, dude, I laughed at that thumbnail for a solid minute or two. Dude. It was so funny.
You got the 3 of you like all cheery and happy, and then there's Prison Mike over there with his headband, and me just looking like I'm about ready to like take somebody outside. I thought it was hysterical.
Lewis said it best. It looked like a boy band put together, and it totally does. Love it.
Yeah. Good Lord. But it was a wonderful experience, and they're just amazing guys, and go support them. Like, just,
absolutely.
They're amazing. All 3 of them were just wonderful and gracious, and just a blast to talk to, for real. So Platinum Bro, and you'll find the other guys' links there. Just go check out the podcast. You'll see everybody's stuff in there, because they all do really, really great work, and they're all super fun to talk to, interesting and friendly. So can't recommend them enough, for sure.
Yep.
With that, we are also next month, we're going to be talking horror games. We haven't locked down a definitive as to like how we're going to approach it. If you're in our Discord and you want to hear anything specific about horror games and stuff like that, by all means, drop us a line, let us know, because it helps and stuff. But we definitely want to talk horror games, because it's, it'll be released beginning of October, and that's obviously Halloween. So Halloween's at the end, but it'll be right before Halloween. So horror games, it's going to be Adrian's bread and butter, and it's going to be me kind of being like, I like Fatal Frame, guys. It was a fun game. Played that, the second one. Detway is hugging his trilogy. And Brian says, awesome stream / episode, boys. Big fan here. I'm a big fan of you, sir. I can feel my voice already going. We've been talking a while. My God.
Thank you for sitting through this 2 hours with us, and that was fun.
Clock Tower. Clock Tower is a game I'd like to try. I have not played it, but I would definitely like to try it out. You don't want
to try it. Yeah, it's the controls are archaic. It's no, you don't want to try it. It's
can't be worse than 3D Zelda controls. Horseback. It's terrible.
True. Okay.
Absolutely terrible. Top down Zelda is best Zelda, and I will stand by that till the day I die. 100%.
Yeah.
Go check us out on YouTube at Game Room Revival, which is the channel. Or Adrian's got us on pretty much any podcast listening audio program spiel that you can think of. It's my fireside chat. I just play Lost Ark and let y'all ASMR me into pure bliss. That's
hell yeah.
Nice. There. Okay. It's getting weird. I am actually going to be, as soon as I get done here, I'm going to go install Disgaea 1 on my PS4, because that's the next game that I'm going to be playing, and that is a whopper of a game from what I understand. So I have 6 left for the year, and they're all long. So man,
I got be done by the end of next month.
No, I highly doubt that. It depends on how much I like them. If I really like them, then I will blow through them. Like Xenoblade 3, 115 hours in, but I still beat it in 2 weeks. So yeah, I just did not want to stop. You can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter is at JJ Santanello. That's JJSANTANIELLO. And Adrian is
at Birdazoid, BIRDAZOID.
You can find those invites and links and all that stuff in the comments or description in the video on YouTube. Game Room Revival, as I said before. Join us on Discord. Talk to us. BS with us. You'll see when we go live with these episodes. I also do post it on Twitter. I'm going to try and get a little bit better about notifying people. But the truth is, Adrian and I kind of decide this stuff last minute on our end too.
Right.
It's more just like the week comes up, we're like, hey, we record this week. What day is good for you? So it's not like I'm like putting off telling everybody. We just literally, because for a while we were just like, let's just do Mondays because we don't know if we're not going to be able to do it. And so we would have it as like, that way we have the rest of the week to do backup days, if that makes sense. So that's kind of why it's like that. But if you're in Discord or you follow me on Twitter, you'll always get a notification that we're going to go live as soon as we decide on a time. So hop in there, talk to us, hang out. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You know the drill. Adrian, and as always, what should they do?
Keep on gaming.